Greatness. Greatness. Yeah, feels like greatness. Yeah. Not only does Raw need to change its theme song, Greatness, because it fucking sucks, but this show ain't great. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It's another Raw done and dusted. Decided to try new tactics today. Normally, I would stay up late, watch Raw in the UK. I mean, you sit there from 1 to 4. The show finishes at 4. You're half asleep. Your eyes are falling out of your head. You feel like you want to die. The only thing you can think of is your head hitting the pillow. But then you review Raw, and that probably takes like another 40 minutes and shit like that. So I thought, you know what? Nah, go try something different. Going to go to bed early. Going to get up early. And going to watch Raw in the morning. So did that, and nah, Raw it still sucked, man. I still felt like death. And it's in the morning time as well, so it makes no sense. Normally, you've had a good night's sleep, you should be alive, you should be awake. Watching this shit, literally just felt dead. Felt like I'd been up 20 hours, man. Just, yeah, this show killed me. And last week, we finished with Mustafa Ali going off the air. And tonight, spoiler alert, we finish with Nikki Cross going off the air. Like, what the fuck is Triple H's problem with, like, trying to go off the air with just legit bums? People that will not be stars, people that are not stars. It's a waste of time, man. Normally, you would always start the show and end the show with two of your main players, but Triple H is, I don't know what he's doing. Johnny Gargano, how many times did he appear tonight? The guy is fucking horrendous. Now, either Triple H thinks Johnny Gargano's great, and that's why he's pushing him a lot, or he knows that Johnny Gargano sucks. He knows that we don't like Johnny Gargano, and he is pushing him more to try and get us to like him, but we are never going to like Johnny Gargano, because he's like 5'2", he has no personality, every single line he delivers on the microphone is cringe. The guy sucks, man. The guy is fucking horrendous. He's an indie jobber. Johnny Wrestling, how about Johnny Indy? I'm calling him Johnny Indy, man. This guy shouldn't be on Raw. And the worst thing is, he's on about 6-7 segments, at least. I mean, normally over the past month, it's been Damage Control that have been running riot on Raw, that have been this segment, that segment, every other segment. But tonight, it was Johnny Indy, and he was just on the show far too much. I mean, I would say if you add up his entire screen time tonight, you must be getting close to about, what, maybe say 40 minutes, and that if you factor in commercial breaks, that's like a third of Raw. So it's fair to say, like, Johnny Indy was on a third of Raw, and when this guy's taking up so much time, how can the show be good? I'll tell you, spoiler alert, man, it can't be good, and it wasn't good. I'm sick of people saying that this Triple H era has been fucking great. It's not. Has Triple H done a few things that are a bit different? Does the product feel slightly different? Yes. Has he done a few things that I think have been good? Yes. But as the show went from being horrible under McMahon to great under Triple H? Absolutely not. So many boring matches. How many times now do you watch Raw and, like, legit 5 or 6 matches have about at least 2 or 3 commercial breaks? It's all long, boring matches that have, like, multiple breaks throughout. This is horrendous. Matches shouldn't be that long. The only match that you can justify being that long is, like, a main event title match. Not every single match on Raw you should need to sit through 2 or 3 commercials. It's garbage. That's what pay-per-view matches are for. You don't sit and watch Raw to get long 15, 20-minute matches. You just don't do that. But that's what we've been getting in the Triple H era, because he thinks wrestling is what everybody wants to see. It's not. We want to see entertainment. We want to see personality. We want to see larger-than-life characters. We don't want to see 2 boring bastards pretending to fight in the ring. That's not what we tune in to Raw to see. If you want to watch that, then AEW. Go watch fucking AEW, or go and watch indie wrestling. But most people that watch WWE, if there's anybody left, to be honest, maybe all those fans are gone, but most WWE fans are in it for the entertainment value. They enjoy it because of the characters, the over-the-top, silliness and shit that can happen, but they don't watch it to see Johnny Gargano applying a headlock and then doing a head scissor takeover and then some guy doing flips. I mean, no one cares about that, right? That has never gotten over. I mean, why are all the company... if that was over then indies wouldn't be indies because they would be mainstream. And if that was over, all this like Mexican luchador shit would have taken over, and all that. New Japan would be the biggest company in the world, but it's not. WWE is the biggest company in the world, but it's got nothing to do with what they're doing currently. WWE is the biggest company in the world because of its history, because of the likes of Hulk Hogan, because of the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. You take away the WWE's past and you just put guys like Johnny Gargano on TV, nobody's watching this, right? This ain't being watched by 27 countries in the world. No one would give a shit about this. Do you think WWE got like 100 million subscribers on YouTube because of Johnny Gargano? Absolutely not. So I don't want to go on a Johnny Gargano rant. I mean, he's not the only guy that sucks, but he's probably the worst. He is. If I could cut one person, if I look at the roster and the Raw roster, and there was one person that I would say didn't belong the most, I would actually say it's Johnny Gargano. But yeah, let's get into tonight's show or today's show, or I don't even know, man. Afternoon or a Tuesday. Got better things today than talking about Raw and watching Raw. From now on, I'm never doing this again. It was a bad idea. I thought it would be a good idea watching Raw and reviewing it the next night, but then you wake up another day and you've still got Raw in your mind, you know. Hopefully, I mean, at least on Mondays, if you watch Raw, you get it over and done with. You don't have to think about it again. You don't have to watch it again. But when you don't watch it on Monday, then you have to watch it on Tuesday. So it's almost like Raw takes 2 days. It's not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, we kick off with the Judgment Day. They come down to the ring. Rhea Ripley takes the mic. Says AJ found out last week what she's been trying to get through the thick skills of you dimwits that the Judgment Day runs Raw. I mean, it's basic. Dominic's the man, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the Judgment Day putting themselves over, burying everyone else. Damian Priest says it's his favourite time of the night. Everybody rises for the Judgment Day. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Priest then goes on to say that Dominic is the greatest luchador in the history of the business, and he asks all the fans to rise. And this seems to be the only time Judgment Day get any boos. Apart from, like, unless they're mentioning Dominic Mysterio, nobody really cares. The crowd's quiet. But as soon as they mention Dominic, they're booing. And I guess I would probably boo too, to be fair, if someone tried to pretend that Dominic's better than Ray. But it just shows me that this stable's just not that over. You know, they're not like massive heels. It's just more the fact people dislike Dominic rather than disliking the Judgment Day. I mean, you take Dominic at the Judgment Day, I don't think anybody would really care. I don't. So the fans are booing. Dominic cuts them off. He says that the Judgment Day is the only one that ever believed in him. He says that he's this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Then AJ Styles comes out, and AJ Styles says that he's not this. He calls him the generation of James Ellsworth, but what AJ meant to say was he's this generation's James Ellsworth, which it was a pretty funny line by AJ, but it didn't help the fact that he kind of butchered the delivery of it. But it is what it is. We're in North Carolina tonight. We then get Carl Anderson. He wants to challenge Balor to a match, and that's it. There's the opening match. Carl Anderson versus Finn Balor. But 15 minutes later, we get the ending. So, brawl breaks out. Everything's happening. On the outside, we have Damian Priest. He chucks AJ across the announce table. Then Luke Gallows comes, hits a big boot on Damian Priest. And he sees Rhea Ripley. I mean, Rhea Ripley's standing right there, but Luke Gallows doesn't do anything. Rhea Ripley doesn't do anything. That is until he turns his back. Then all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley now, because the man isn't facing her, she's now allowed to get physical. So she pushes Luke Gallows into the ring post. He cracks his head, turns around, she hits like a scoop slam, and they're marking out. And I'm not saying it's not impressive, but I mean, fucking Luke Gallows, he ain't that big of a man. You know, he's not that heavy. It's not that big a deal. I mean, yeah, it's Rhea Ripley. Visually, it looks pretty cool, you know, her doing a slam or whatever to a man, but it's not groundbreaking, you know, it's been there, done that. Then she gets in the ring, hits a low blow on Carl Anderson, and then Finn Balor just pins him 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And the commentary team put over the fact that Rhea Ripley, you know, once again is the difference maker. So when are these other people going to learn? When are they going to figure out that, you know what, this Rhea Ripley person is costing me match after match after match, week after week after week? Why are they never trying to solve the problem? Why are they consistently turning their back on Rhea Ripley? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So that is it. Carl Anderson loses to Finn Balor. Boring match. We then, up next, we have The Miz. Miz comes out, kind of buries a couple of NASCAR drivers in attendance. He says that he could beat them in his Tesla, which I thought was pretty funny. He then goes on to talk about how Dexter Lumis has been beating him up and stuff like this. He's been stalking him. He says he hasn't seen his partner, Ciampa, in weeks. Gargano comes out, cuts a terrible promo. Gargano says he just texts Ciampa. He says The Miz knows he isn't missing. He calls The Miz a huge liar. Gargano says that Ciampa's out injured. Couldn't care what Ciampa's doing. Gargano says that he is going to blow his whistle unless The Miz tells the truth. The Miz then lashes out and says that he wants the truth. And then R-Truth comes out. R-Truth comes out, does a shit rap. And R-Truth says, well, you want the truth, so here I am. And then The Miz just looks at him and he's like, what? And then Truth starts defending macaroni and cheese, and Johnny Gargano's cutting terrible promos. It was just really, really bad here. Like, I like The Miz and I like Truth, and Awesome Truth was a good tag team back in the day, but when these two are in the ring with Johnny Gargano, he just sucks the life out of it, man. Anyway, we get the match. Miz is in control. Miz is about to win. He starts yelling for security. He sees a guy with a hood up, black gloves on. He thinks it's Dexter Lumis. R-Truth rolls him up, gets the win. Then after the match, Johnny Gargano takes off the hood, takes off the gloves, and he figures out it's Johnny Gargano and not Dexter Lumis. So Johnny Gargano played The Miz here. So yeah, again, more shit, more Johnny Gargano. Just don't want to see it. Then after the match, Truth is celebrating. We cut backstage to Kathy Kelly. She's talking with Candice LeRae, says that, is she happy with on Raw? What did she expect? Candice says 1 minute she was in NXT, next minute she's on Raw. She went to have a family with Johnny Gargano. I mean, who cares? Who the fuck cares about Candice LeRae? Nobody. Then Bayley appears and say, oh, well, first Candice says that she's got friends like Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair. Then Damage Control interrupt. They dismiss Kathy Kelly. Bayley then sits down, starts doing an interview. Says that she took out all her friends, blah blah blah. She's put them on the injured list or whatever. She says that, you know, Io Sky and Dakota Kai are still champs. Some boring shit. Not Kathy Kelly. What's her name? Fucking the Poison Pixie. Candice LeRae. Yeah, that's the one. Candice LeRae then says that, basically calls them out bullies, saying that what are they trying to prove, that they're in control of the women's division. LeRae says the only thing that they're proving is Sky is still untrustworthy, Dakota is still spiteful, and Bayley is still not the Raw Women's Champion. So just garbage. Bayley then says, if you don't think we're in control, look around, you don't have any friends here. And then they push the camera and they start beating up Candice LeRae. So, you know, really crap stuff here. We got Elias walking backstage. Matt Riddle stops him. Matt Riddle's playing like the drums. He's tapping them. He thinks he's creating good music when in reality he's not. He wants to team up with Elias and create music. Elias says, look, I'm going to give you a pass, but you interrupted me last week and I don't like being interrupted. So Matt Riddle seems to get a bit sad here. And then Gable and Otis come out. Gable insults Elias and Riddle and their musical skills. Gable insults Seek, and this seems to upset Elias. Now he says, now that you're done pretending, did you take time off so you could grow that beard back after you were pretending to be Seek? And I thought it was pretty funny from Gable, but Elias didn't like this. He's still pretending that Seek's a real person. He says, don't talk about my brother like that. And then he challenges him to a match tonight so he can find out why WWE stands for Walk with Elias. I didn't really like this. Speaking of what I didn't like, up next, Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Why? Two fucking bums. Well, I don't actually mind Austin Theory, but like, what's the gimmick with Mustafa Ali? Why do people think Mustafa Ali's going to do something? I mean, the guy sucks, right? He's going to lose to Seth Rollins, then he's going to disappear. Triple H can't seriously think someone like Mustafa Ali can be the future of WWE. I just do not get what Triple H is doing here. This guy fucking grew up, and he came through in the Attitude Era. No, he dominated the Attitude Era, more so probably the Ruthless Aggression Era. He knows what works in wrestling. He knows what makes a great wrestler and what doesn't. So why is he so adamant on pushing people like Johnny Gargano and Mustafa Ali? Two guys that just do not have it. They don't have it. It's as simple as that, right? You can like the fake wrestling, but at the end of the day, Mustafa Ali, Johnny Gargano, they are not stars. They are never going to be stars. They do not look like stars. They do not come out and grab attention. Mustafa Ali came out the night for his entrance and the crowd were literally dead, non-existent. Didn't even know who it was. You mean anybody who's semi-over, they come out and the crowd see them and the crowd go mental. Their arms are up in the air and all this stuff, chanting, cheering. But nah, Mustafa Ali came out and I thought it was a funeral. I thought it was like a minute's silence or something. There was just nothing there. And then Ali loses to Theory. Seth Rollins gets involved, pushes him over the barricade. I mean, it is what it is. Austin Theory wins. Ali starts a brawling with Riddle. Rollins, he gets back. So Rollins pushes him into the barricade. He just disposes him over the barricade like the piece of shit that he is. But then he jumps back over and he takes out Seth Rollins. Security interrupt, and then Ali says he's not going away or whatever. So until he gets a piece of Rollins. So I mean, who cares? We go backstage. It's more Miz and more Johnny Gargano. The Miz isn't happy about the whole Dexter Lumis thing. Gargano says he's going to give the Miz one more chance, or else next week he's going to blow the whistle on him, and he puts the whistle to his mouth. I just don't get this whole whistle thing. And then he bumps into JBL. JBL says that this isn't the minor leagues now. JBL says Gargano needs to show him some respect. JBL says if Gargano was in the Attitude Era, he'd be carrying his bags. I mean, JBL's got it spot on here. Gargano then tries to, come back. He says he was 8 years old in the Attitude Era, so obviously he wouldn't have been doing much. He says he respects JBL. He's a legend and a Hall of Famer. He shakes his hands and insults him, calling him MC Hammer Pants. This just wasn't funny. Gargano then addresses Corbin and says he doesn't know what his name is these days. Constable Corbin, King Corbin, Happy Corbin. And then he says boring Corbin? No, Baron Corbin. There's one boring person here, right? And it's fucking Johnny Gargano. I can't believe he's got the audacity to call anyone else boring. I mean, it's almost like they know Johnny Gargano's the boring one, so they're trying their best to deflect it and paint anyone else as boring but Gargano. But we all know he is the boring one, This would be like Otis calling fucking Alexa Bliss fat, It's fucking Otis, you're the fat one, just accept it. Johnny Gargano, you're the boring one. Just accept it. I'm not even a massive fan of Baron Corbin, but I would rather watch Baron Corbin every day of the week than watch Johnny Gargano. So, yeah, fuck Johnny Gargano, man. This match gets announced. They make a match for tonight, so it is what it is. Johnny Gargano then walks off and tells him that he tells JBL he's got a nice hat. Then we see The Rock. They show that his movie is the #1 movie in the world. Yeah, then what else do we have? We have a 4-on-1 handicap match. So it's Omos versus 4 midgets, and I just don't understand WWE's logic. They seem to think that Omos beating these 4 midgets is impressive when it's not. You see these 4 guys, you look at the state of them, and you automatically, you can't even take it serious. You just know that Omos is winning, and he's going to win easy. Surely Omos beating someone with a bit of name value would mean more. Surely that would be a bigger win going into his match against Braun Strowman. And I hate using this guy all the time, but if Omos defeated Dolph Ziggler, I would think more of that. I would go, you know what, that's more of an impressive win. Especially because Ziggler could sell for him properly. Ziggler could, just make him look good. But they don't. They have him versus these 4 guys. There's one spot where he tries to throw one of them across the ring, and the other guy just doesn't fucking move, and he hardly gets any distance on him, and it just looks terrible because he's this big 7'3" guy, supposed to be, a giant. He's against a guy that's about 5 foot tall, and he barely threw him. At least if you put him against Ziggler, like Ziggler's a great seller, he can sell for Omos, he can make Omos look good, and to me, Omos beating Ziggler on paper looks better than Omos beating 4 fucking unknown guys that'll never be seen in WWE again. 4 guys, and they're not even enhancement talents. They're 4 guys they fucking found on the streets. 4 homeless dudes that, were looking for spare change, and it's almost like MVP said to them, look, if you come and get beat up by this big guy, I'll give you $20 each. I mean, that's probably how these 4 got in the fucking arena, man. So, just a garbage match, and Omos versus Braun Strowman, it's a spectacle, but I think that match is going to be absolutely horrendous. Hopefully, they prove me wrong. Then we get Elias walking backstage with his guitar. We go back to commercial, we come back to commercial, and it's Elias versus Gable. So, again, it's just match. It just feels like it's match heavy central, and it is heavy central. Otis is charging in the ring. Elias moves out the way. Otis flies into the ring post. Elias then fights his way back, hits a big boot in Gable. Then he hits the drift away in the middle of the ring, and Elias beats Gable. What is it with the Alpha Academy losing every single match? They're actually pretty entertaining. They're one of the best things on Raw, but they cannot buy a win. They're treated like absolute fucking bums. And these guys were like tag champs, like, a year ago? Maybe 8 months ago? It's just sad to see how much they've fallen. And I know they were never booked that strongly, but why can't they be booked strongly? With someone who's got the intelligence of Chad Gable, and then you've got someone with the physicality of Otis. Like, why can't these guys be, like, a bigger players? Why can't these guys play bigger roles? Yeah, you've got Johnny Gargano, who is a fucking midget. He's picking up wins everywhere, left, right, centre, man. It just makes no sense to me. Elias wins. Is what it is. Riddle comes out to save the beatdown, so Otis and Gable try and beat him up. Riddle comes out to make the save. Elias, he checks on Elias, and then he gets a bro chant. I mean, who cares? We then go to the OC and the Judgment Day. AJ's back in the trainer's room with Luke Gallows and a sore Carl Anderson. He's got like ice on his nuts because Rhea Ripley hit him with a low blow. AJ says they have a Rhea Ripley problem. Gallows says he has a Rhea-lution. Gallows says they all know he's the best with women and that he will handle Ripley. Then Gallows leaves and AJ Styles and Anderson both agree that Gallows is horrible with women. So they were trying to be comedic here, and they just weren't. There's nothing funny about the club. AJ Styles, in my opinion, isn't really a comedic guy. Great in-ring performer, but he doesn't really do comedy well. And this trio just aren't that fucking good. I think AJ Styles' best stuff in WWE is when he was on his own. As soon as the OC left the first time and AJ got a solo run on SmackDown, that's when he became champion. That's when he had the great feud with John Cena. That's when he had done his best WWE work. I just think throwing him back with these guys is a massive step backwards. Not that he was going anywhere, because his career, his run was stale. I get that, but I just don't want to see AJ around these guys. Then we go to the next match. Baron Corbin versus Johnny Gargano. Boring, fucking boring. Long match. Johnny Gargano's on the announce table. Johnny Gargano's borrowing JBL's cowboy hat. He's wearing it. He's dancing on the announce table. He goes to give him it back. He pulls it away. He does a DDT to Baron Corbin from the announce table to the side, then puts the cowboy hat back on, climbs up to the ring apron. JBL comes and just wipes his legs out from underneath him. Then Baron Corbin gets him in the ring and he hits his finisher, End of Days, and gets the 1, 2, 3. So, 2 weeks now we've had Baron Corbin under JBL's management. JBL is saying this guy is the new wrestling god. This guy could be the face of any company. And now that is back-to-back weeks where Baron Corbin has struggled big time and barely beat Dolph Ziggler and Johnny Gargano. It's not like he's been up against main eventers here. It's Johnny Gargano and Dolph Ziggler, and he's barely been able to beat them. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really fucking doesn't. Why not give Baron Corbin? Why not give Corbin the 4 guys, the local guys? Why not give him a couple of weeks of easy fucking wins and then move him up to like a Dolph Ziggler and a Johnny Gargano? It just makes no sense that we're supposed to believe now that Baron Corbin's the face. He's the guy that's going to be the new champion. He's the new wrestling god. Yet he struggles. He can't even beat Gargano without help. So how can he be the new wrestling god? And I know, JBL got help every week, but you know what? That's different. JBL was beating fucking Undertaker. He needed help. Why does Corbin need help to beat? Why does Corbin need help to beat Johnny Gargano. And speaking of Johnny Gargano, again, Johnny Gargano, why? Why are we getting Gargano? Gargano match, Gargano segment, Gargano promo, Gargano backstage segment, Gargano backstage promo, Gargano's wife, Gargano match, Gargano interview. Fuck Johnny Gargano, man. I hate the guy. He sucks. He is fucking horrendous. I don't know why he has to appear 10 times on the show. It's 10 times too many, if you ask me. Then what do we get? We get Kathy Kelly interviewing Bianca Belair backstage. Bianca Belair says it's bigger than the title, it's bigger than ego, it's about payback. The fact that she says it's bigger than the title, that just buries the fucking belt. Can you remember back in the day in the build up to WrestleMania 17? The Rock's managing Austin's wife, Deborah. Like, Austin never turned around and says, it's not about the title, it's not about ego, it's about you managing my wife, or it's about, you thinking, that you've got a bigger ego than me, you're thinking that you're the man. What? The only thing that was about the title. Austin says the only thing that matters is that WWE Championship, and The Rock was like, yeah, you're damn right it is. They went into WrestleMania 17 willing to die. Not because of an ego, not because of someone being better or someone trying to get payback. It was because the WWE Championship meant everything. So when Bianca Belair comes out here and says that the title, it doesn't mean anything, how can you expect Bianca Belair to be great when she's carrying a title that, in her own words, she says doesn't matter? Just fucking horrendous. And then we get more Johnny Gargano. I actually cannot believe this. We get more Johnny Gargano with The Miz. The Miz is giving Johnny Gargano like a get well soon card for Candice. Johnny Gargano opens up the card and he says, oh, it's not even signed, you didn't even put any money in it and you're rich. It's like a get well soon card. Who puts money in a get well soon card? And then he's like, next week I'm telling the truth if you don't. Again, why are we getting this Johnny wrestling, this Johnny indie marathon? I mean, nobody wanted it. Nobody cares for it. I mean, I can't think of anybody over the years who's been featured more on a show than Johnny Gargano. I mean, fuck me. When we get Brock, it's one and done. Now, when Brock Lesnar's there, you're crying out for more Brock. You're like, yes, please use Brock in 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Fuck it, just give Brock the entire show. But with Johnny Gargano, you don't even want to see him once. But if it's one time, then you know what? You'll maybe just put up with it. But why the fuck are we getting to see him 6, 7, 8 times, man? Nobody wants to see Johnny Gargano. But when it's Brock, when it's somebody good, you only get to see them once. I just do not understand it, man. Triple H, what is he doing? Triple H either genuinely believes that Johnny Gargano is the next Stone Cold, or he hates us and he's just punishing us by having to watch countless fucking hours of Johnny Gargano. I can't decide which one it is. Then we get a video hype package for Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Lame. Brock Lesnar's not here tonight, so let's just show a video package. If Brock Lesnar's not there, is Bobby Lashley there? Can we get something with Bobby Lashley at least? I don't know. Or is Bobby Lashley not there? Or is Bobby Lashley there, but because Brock Lesnar's not there, they decide not to use Bobby Lashley because they don't have anything for him. It's just not good. Whatever, man. Whatever. Then we move on. Main event: Bianca Belair versus Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Now, I could have swore last week they said this was a title match. Sometime during the space of last week's Raw and this week's Raw, they've changed it, so it's just a non-title match. And it was another boring match that lasted way too long. Panic control, damage control. Get involved. The referee's trying to tell them to get to the back, and then some crazy woman comes out, jumps on top of them, takes out the ref, takes out damage control, gets in the ring. It's Nikki Cross. Who cares? Last time we seen her, she was jobbing out with Doudrop, being a fake superhero, and now I guess she's come back to being the crazy one. This is Triple H, his NXT. Oh, Nikki Ash was, crazy. She was a crazy chick in my NXT, so I need her to go back to being crazy. So anything that's been undone by McMahon, Triple H is just undoing it back, and it's almost like, it's bitter. It's kind of pathetic. Why doesn't he just do something new? Why is he reverting back to everything? It's the same thing with Gunther. And now he's brought back Imperium. Gunther was coming out in red, and now they've went back to the Imperium black. It's like, it is lame. I mean, it's very fucking lame here. Triple H just changing what he doesn't like. But anyway, yeah, then Bayley gets the win after Nikki Cross hit the DDT or whatever on Bianca. Then after the match, Nikki Cross gets in, starts beating down Bayley, gets on top of Bayley, just fires away at Bayley, keeps wailing at Bayley, striking Bayley. Then she gets up, looks crazy into the hard cam, and then Raw goes off the air. So last week we ended with Mustafa Ali. This week we end it with Nikki Cross. Where the fuck is the start? This is supposed to be Monday Night Raw. Raw used to go off the air with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, John Cena, Batista, you name it. Raw went off the air with that person. Now, 2 weeks in a row, man. Mustafa Ali and Nikki Cross, man. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Why? Why is Raw going off the air with Nikki? Nikki Cross is lucky to be on Raw. Never mind be the last thing we see on Raw. Never mind be the main event. Never mind going off the air with her face on the camera. I just don't understand it, man. People are going to say Triple H's WWE's great. It's not. It's boring. It's boring matches. It's boring wrestling matches that nobody cares about. It's fucking small indie wrestlers that nobody cares about. Characters are pretty much gone. Personalities are gone. You listen to Johnny Gargano, and like Johnny Gargano, Mustafa Ali, guys that can't speak, guys that can't offer anything other than what they do in between the ropes. And even then, it's all, you know, high flying super kicks, drop kicks. It's garbage. It's not real wrestling. There's no ring psychology. There's no nothing. There's no selling. There's no nothing. So I'm not going to sell this show. This show was shit. This was not a good Raw. And you're going to get people that comment, oh, it was good. It was 7 out of 10. No, it wasn't a 7 out of 10. I'm going to get a 1. The reason I'm going to get a 1 is because of JBL, and I thought the R-Truth and Miz interaction was pretty funny. Apart from that, though, everything else was atrocious. It is what it is. Bring back McMahon. Honestly, bring him back. I don't care if he slept with fucking... I mean, he paid money for some chick that he slept with. I mean, big fucking deal. Who cares? Do we need to watch shit wrestling because Vince McMahon decided he wanted to have sex with a young woman and nothing illegal and it was consensual, but because he had consensual sex and tried to pay her off, now we need to watch shit wrestling ran by Triple H? I mean, what kind of deal is that? Bring back Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And yeah, that's it, guys. 1 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts down below. Another horrendous show. And now we move on to NXT. That's it. Till next time. Peace.